Hi, everybody. I wanted to talk about dealing with regret. My insurance company has canceled the policy on my van that I'm converting into an RV, and I followed someone else's, what they did. They bought the same model of rig, and they got RV insurance from the same company that I tried, and they just uploaded pictures saying work in progress, and as far as I know, it worked for that guy. But for me, I think the problem was when I uploaded the picture saying work in progress, I also, instead of uploading a bill of sale showing that I own the vehicle, because that was an option, I uploaded a picture of the pink slip. And the pink slip says right on there, commercial. And so I got a letter in the mail said, we've canceled your policy because you're going to use this for commercial purposes. And I'm like, they said that I could call them and talk to them about it, but almost certainly they're not going to renew the policy. I will never use this rig as a commercial vehicle. If my husband and I in our business have a need to move something big and we need a box van, we'll rent one identical to that from U-Haul and just use that instead. I will never use that rig for commercial purposes. Not only that, I wasn't even planning on driving it anywhere. But had I uploaded, instead of the pink slip, a bill of sale, they may not have caught the fact that that has a commercial title, and then that would trigger this automatic impulse to say, oh, that's you can't use it for commercial purposes. And so I can intelligently see that it would have been better to have uploaded the bill of sale. But before my shift, I would have obsessed over an impossible problem, which is what suffering is. Suffering is an impossible problem. It's most obvious with regret, because with regret, if this had happened before, I would be torn, wishing I could go back in time and upload the bill of sale instead of the pink slip, because that might have worked. That is to say, it might have gone under the radar and until I changed the title, and because the policy is for the VIN, not the license plate, it probably would have worked. And now, because they canceled the policy because it's for commercial purposes, they may actually flag that VIN, so I may never be able to get RV insurance on that rig after I get the title switched over. I'm going to call them today and tell them all this and say that I'm converting it over, and if they don't renew my policy, which they probably won't, I'll ask them if it's possible to not flag my VIN, so when I do get the title switched over, that I can get RV insurance. I'm going to turn on my heater here. But the bottom line is, I'm not gutting myself over that. I'm not experiencing regret. Before, I would be like a little voodoo doll inside my body, and I'd be like churning my guts, trying to essentially go back in time, because that's the thing of it is imagination can go anywhere. We can go anywhere in our imagination, but not in reality. So So suffering is not limited to what's possible. It can torment me for not doing something that's impossible, going back in time and changing that around. And it is an amazing juxtaposition to see that now I don't do that. Here's the thing, though. This is what's really crazy, is that there's still this whole personality is still gun shy about taking risks. And why wouldn't it be? I've essentially ate my own liver, metaphorically speaking, for decades. That of course this nervous system would be afraid. It would be gun shy. It would not want to be taking those risks. It doesn't trust this shift. And when will it trust this shift? Well, it's trusting it more and more. It is, a little bit more and more. But I can't just make it happen. It happens on its own. And so it's amazing. It's an amazing thing to have withered myself into mincemeat over worry about future and then regret about the past, and to be here with that in the rear view, that it doesn't happen anymore. And it boggles my mind. It's psychologically winning the lottery. And I know that, I tell people this, and they're like, because it just doesn't compute. And I know it wouldn't have computed for me either. I wouldn't have thought that this would be possible, or I wouldn't have felt that this would be possible. Anyway, I think I've covered it. All right. Thanks for following me along to my walk this morning. And I'm sorry about the heater, but it's kind of chilly out there, and I want to preheat myself before I hit that trail. All right. Talk to you later.